I'm Paper Pixelated. This is going to be more of a serious video, I guess. Sort of a vlog. Definitely a vlog. This is not a gaming video, so if you came here to watch me play games, go check out my other videos. This is not one of those. And also I would like to apologize for the shitty video quality because I am recording this on my Kindle while I am in bed. And I would also like to apologize for the shitty sound quality, which I assume there is, because again, I am recording this on my Kindle in bed without any other sound equipment, just my Kindle. And also, it is hot as fuck in here, so I have fans on. Hopefully it's not so loud that it's obnoxious. I don't know. Anyone who follows me on Facebook knows by now I was recently in the hospital for a prolonged stay. Well, to me, it seemed prolonged. I mean, I had never been in the hospital for more than like a night before. Like I was in there once to get my appendix taken out, and then I just had to stay for like a night to recover from my appendectomy. But that was no big deal. I was there about like a month ago, I would say. A month ago from now. I don't know, when is it? It's July 26th now. Yeah, I was definitely in the hospital a little over a month ago, in June, for a heart condition. I was there for over a week, actually. This was something that I did not know I had ahead of time. This is also to explain, by the way, why my hair is suddenly not that pink anymore. I know you guys, because my upload schedule is weird as fuck, so I haven't even started uploading any videos yet when I'm recording this right now. As of right now, when I'm recording this video, none of my other videos have yet been uploaded. My upload schedule is weird because what I was trying to do was I wanted to have enough videos stockpiled so that when school started, I could still continue to do one video every day. One video per day has always been my goal, so I wanted to have a little bit of leeway by having some videos recorded in advance, in case I had to miss a day where I couldn't, in case there was a day I couldn't record. And it's a good thing I did that because of my hospital situation. So somewhere in the middle of recording, my hair goes from bright fucking pink to this color. And that time lapse period between those videos whenever they're uploaded, which might not even be in order, by the way. That was right before I went to the hospital and right when I got back. So I haven't recorded anything in over a month, probably because of my health. Basically what happened was, the night that I came down with it, I don't know if you even call it that, the night that developed, I don't know. The night that shit hit the fan, basically. I had been having no prior symptoms. I had no idea this shit was coming. I had just been working with my brother on his computer and updating Windows or something, helping him update Windows or something like that. Till 2 in the morning, which for me isn't that late. And then I need to go to the bathroom, so I get up to go to the bathroom, and as I'm sitting on the fucking toilet, I'm like, oh geez, my head feels really heavy right now, super heavy. I need to just lie down. As I'm sitting on the toilet, I can't even hold my head up anymore. I prop it against the door. And then I'm like, alright, I just need to go to bed. I get up, after finish my business, I get up, and as I'm walking back to my room, it really hits me, even more. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to lay down as fast as I can. So as soon as I get to my room, I don't think I even sit on my bed yet, or lie down or anything, before my vision starts to go completely black. It starts at the edges or whatever of my vision, and then my vision just slowly blacks out until I cannot see anything. Hair stop. Sort of like when you get a head rush, if you stand up too fast when you've been sitting down and you get all fuzzy and foggy. It's like that, but 20 million times worse, and can't see at all, not just the gray, completely black, everything. So I'm running down the hallway blind, yelling for my mom, because I still live with my parents. I'm 22, I apparently have health issues, so it's good that I still live at home. I start yelling for my mom. My mom's a nurse, so she's kind of alarmed, I guess, but she knows what's going on. She can kind of figure out that I'm not dying, so And I like fall on the way to her bedroom because instead of being smart and staying still, you know, I thought she wouldn't hear me in my room yelling, and I legitimately thought I was going to pass out. Like, near syncope is what it's called. What happened is near syncope. When you get to the point of almost passing out, I guess. Syncope is when you do pass out. But I was afraid that I would pass out and that no one would know, so that's why I ran to my brother's room to wake her up because it was like 2 in the morning. But yeah, she heard me for sure, and she came out, and I had collapsed on the floor and couldn't get up. But I was still conscious. Barely. I think it's because I was hanging on so hard because I was too afraid that no one would know that I had passed out, you know, and I was scary. So I just kind of forced myself to stay awake is what I genuinely think kept me awake, but maybe not. I'm not a doctor. I don't fucking know shit. But yeah, so that was really scary. We drove to the ER that night. Did not call an ambulance because my mom figured just fine. 2 in the morning, drive to the ER. And they take me right away. Like, there was, like, no one there, hardly anyone there. So they take me in pretty quick. They noticed my blood pressure was really low, I think, and my heart rate super high. So they admit me to the ER. Oh, they didn't admit me to the hospital yet. I'm sorry. I'm still in the ER. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. In the ER, the doctors are kind of just like, I don't know, that's weird. Your heart rate is super fast, but, you know, it could be anxiety. Maybe you're just tired, you know, maybe that you're hungry or you're dehydrated. So, you know, they're giving me fluids and stuff. And I was super nauseated too, actually, which is why I was telling them that I was nauseated. And they're like, okay, so here's some anti-nausea medication for you. And I take that. Forget what it's called. I don't know, the anti-nausea medication they give you in the ER. Forgot what it's called. But yeah, I take it and throw up. So that didn't help. And they were like, yeah, now she actually has vomiting. That's kind of not what we expected. And maybe it is still just anxiety, I guess. So, because my heart rate is super high. Like, normal heart rate is like 70s. For what I was doing, nothing, you know? 70s is normal. But my heart rate was well over the hundreds while I was in a hospital bed, you know, just sitting there, lying there. Pretty sure I was lying down, yeah. So that was alarming, but they thought it could just be anxiety. And I had always thought in the past that I had anxiety. I've had therapy for anxiety. I've been to a therapist and had counseling for it. But it could have just been this heart thing all along. That was apparently, I discovered later, the doctors were like, no, we don't think that your anxiety is causing the heart to do this. We think your heart doing this is creating the symptoms of anxiety. So I don't know if I have anxiety. I mean, I have anxiety, but I don't know what, you know what I mean. I don't know if it's the mental aspect or like the actual just physical aspect of anxiety. I don't know. Yeah, and I was having heart palpitations, which I could feel in my chest, and it was painful. And not even just painful, but, you know, scary, because you can feel, like, the fluttering, and not good stuff. Since they still thought all of that was anxiety, they gave me Ativan to try and calm me down. It didn't help, actually. I mean, I think I might have been able to get, like, an hour of sleep, because at this point, it's probably, like, 4 or 5 in the morning. Did not do anything to lower my heart rate, and that's when they were like, okay, so it's not anxiety. We've got to admit you to the actual hospital. You know, we've got to get you to bed. So I was admitted while I was in the ER and while I was in the hospital. Every single test possible was performed on me. Like, they tried everything, and everything came back negative. So, in all honesty, I still don't fully know what's wrong with me. They did find a mitral valve prolapse, which means that my mitral valve in my heart doesn't close properly. It's sort of like floppy. It doesn't close all the way. And at first they were just like, well, I guess that's what's causing it. You know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's enough to cause this, but it must be. So they actually sent me home after like 3 days. Even though my heart rate was still really high, they did give me medication for nausea and abdominal cramping, because I had a lot of that too. Oh, and they gave me Xanax because anxiety, I guess. But after being home for like one night, I think it was only one night of sleep at home that I got. The very next night, I was trying to go to sleep and it wasn't working out. Heart rate was super high again, and I thought I was gonna throw up again, and I felt like I was gonna pass out, and I was just It was not good. It was really bad. I almost passed out. Did throw up, even though there was nothing in my stomach, because this whole time I have been unable to eat because, you know, nausea that's accompanied with the heart issue. Like, it's just a whole slew of symptoms because the heart gets going too fast and then everything else in my body follows suit. Like, it's crazy. We ended up calling an ambulance for me. My mother did that night because I insisted. I was like, I need to go to the ER. I'm not feeling okay. Like, I felt so terrified and like I was gonna die. And I mean, it probably wasn't true. That probably was not the case. I was probably not gonna die. My life, I don't think, has ever been in danger during any of this. But you know, if you've ever had issues like that, it feels like you're dying. If you ever even had an anxiety attack, it feels like you're dying. And normally for anxiety attacks, which I thought I had in the past, I would not call an ambulance. But this was way extreme. I was vomiting and I legitimately thought I was gonna pass out, and I was shaking. My body was in tremors, my whole body. So we called the ambulance. They take me to the ER again, and they end up admitting me again because super fast heart rate that they can't do anything about, nausea, you know, I can't eat. And that was why they actually ended up admitting me, because the nurse, doctor who working the ER that night, she very much was like, I'm pretty sure this is just anxiety, like, you need to just calm down, you know? And that really sucks, honestly. I get where they're coming from. Doctors think, you know, that people are coming in just to scam, like, meds, or that they're just freaking out because, you know, 20-something female, they can't have a major heart issue. But it really sucks when you know that there is something wrong with you and everyone around you is telling you, I don't know, you're fine, or, you know, just in disbelief. They don't take you seriously. And it's really scary because then you feel alone in all of it, which makes it so much worse, you know? Eventually she did admit me because I couldn't eat anything, or I couldn't drink anything even. It was something like that. Or I couldn't take the medication she was trying to give me. I don't know. My nausea and stomach was really bad, so I got admitted again. And then I was there for a week that time. So that's why I said over a week, because about that time I think I was there a week, and then the time before I was there for like 3 days, so it was over a week. It might have been even more than that my second stay. It might have been more than a week that I was there. I don't really know. Time kind of just meshed together. And again, they did more tests, and everything pretty much was negative. We did a gastric, what's it called? Emptying study? Gastric empty study? I think that's what it's called. Where they feed you a radioactive sandwich, basically, and you fucking eat that shit, and then they take pictures the whole way down to see where it goes, you know, to make sure it goes through, there's no, like, blockages or anything. And that came out fine, but I just had to mention that because it was the worst experience of my whole life, because I was so insanely nauseated that I hadn't been able to keep any food down the whole time I was there. But I had to eat this sandwich. I had to. And if I threw it up, then we had to start the test over, like, on a different day. And I really was so desperate to know what was wrong with me that out of sheer willpower, I kept that thing down. But it was so awful. I don't know if you've ever had to do anything like that when you're nauseated, but it was the worst. It is the worst. I had to power through that shit so bad. I just kept reminding myself of that scene in Game of Thrones where Daenerys Targaryen has to eat that horse heart. I was like, I am the mother of dragons, I can do this. Daenerys Stormborn as Targaryen, I could get through this shit. Yeah, that was negative. They did an MRI, an MRV, tons of x-rays, tons of ultrasounds, pelvic ultrasound, abdominal ultrasound, stomach, I don't know what it's called. They did everything. They fucking did everything. Something that did come back with some mild results was, I can't remember what the procedure's called, or that's not procedure, test, I don't know. I can't remember what it's fucking called. But when they, stick a tube down your throat into your stomach, endoscopy, right? Or is that your asshole? I don't remember. I don't know. I think it's endoscopy, where they put the tube in your throat into your stomach and they look around and see if there's any, like, bad bacteria or, like, ulcers or anything like that. They did find some gastritis, but again, nothing that would have caused the ridiculous onslaught of symptoms that I had. So they give me Carafate, or Sucralfate is the other brand, I don't know. Sucralfate is what I'm taking now. That's the home one. In the hospital, I was on Carafate. Sucralfate, I don't know. And that actually sort of helped with being able to eat to some extent. And for my heart rate, there was actually one night where they had to call rapid response for me, if that's what it's called, because my heart rate was dangerously high, I guess. I had been asleep. I was fully asleep, and my heart rate, instead of being the normal like 60s, 70s for a sleeping person, was 155. And so that was really scary, I guess. I was so out of it and delusional at the time, because it just woke me up from my slumber, that I don't even really remember it too well. All I remember was being like, whoa, and there were like a ton of nurses in my room just staring at me, and I was just like out of it. I was so out of it. It's insane. But there are very few things in life scarier than when you're fully asleep and then out of nowhere your body just jerks you awake and you can feel this pain in your chest and instant panic as soon as you open your eyes, and you're instantly out of breath and everything's spinning, and it's so absolutely terrifying. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who have had scarier experiences, but for me, it's the scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life, and it sucks that anyone has to experience anything scary like that, or anything with their health like that, or anything that has such a drastic effect on them like that, a negative, I don't know. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. I just can't even put into words the fear that was felt, the panic that was induced by all of this. Not just that, but that is absolutely terrifying. That was so scary. And hearing about it afterwards. Because you just wake up and there's a shit ton of nurses surrounding you, and you're like, well, fuck, I must be dying. I feel like I'm dying already anyway. I had like 6 doctors, maybe more, honestly. And eventually they decided to put me on beta blockers for my heart, which they didn't do the first time I was hospitalized, even though my heart rate was insanely high. I still think they should have put me on the beta blockers immediately, but I understand why they didn't. Because no one wants to put a 22-year-old on beta blockers. At the time I was 21 even. No one wants to put a 21-year-old on beta blockers. They just don't. Because it's for old people. I don't know. Like, it's weird for a 21-year-old to have to be on that medication to control your heart rate. That's weird. And I have to be on it, as far as I know, for the rest of my life. Also, they wanted to see if my heart rate would come down on its own. But I do think if they were still monitoring it like that, they should not have sent me home, because obviously I was not well enough to go home. I came back to the ER in an ambulance, and yeah, but I don't blame the doctors or the nurses or any of that. I know I make it sound like it, because I just feel like my opinion on how they should have handled it might have been different, and I'm not qualified. I'm not a doctor. I'm sure they probably, I don't know, I mean, they definitely had good reasons. I know I sound like I'm accusing them, but actually I'm trying to defend my doctors, because I've had people say to me before, like, how do they not know what's wrong with you? Like, what bad doctors? Or like, I hate our healthcare system. Or like, and I mean, I understand our healthcare system is not perfect, that's for sure, but I'm not about to get into that. I just want to say that my doctors and my nurses were amazing. Every single one of them, amazing. My main doctor while I was there, he was absolutely amazing. He cared so much, and he knew it was an anxiety, and he did everything he could and ordered every test he could, and I'm so grateful to him for caring, and for trying so hard. And he even called the hospital when he was at home at like 1 o'clock in the morning to see how I was doing. And it's just so sweet that there are wonderful people and doctors out there who care so much and try so hard for their patients, So I don't want anyone to say that it's the doctor's fault that they don't know what's wrong with me, because they did every single thing they could. And I'm an enigma. I don't know. I have something rare and uncommon, I guess. They were very brilliant doctors, everyone I saw, and they worked together, and they worked really hard for me, and I could see that anytime they were there. They all came in and checked on me constantly. And my nurses were wonderful. I had this amazing nurse, Diana. She was just one of my amazing nurses. She even gave me, she went the extra mile, She gave me snacks that she thought I might be able to eat, because she had nausea problems herself in the past. So she gave me, ginger cookies and alkaline water, and she's just the sweetest. She gave me, protein shakes that she had to drink when she couldn't eat or anything. She was so sweet, and I really appreciate that the nurses and doctors there took such great care of me, and so please don't say it's the fault of the medical system, because it's not in this situation. I understand there are situations where that's true, but in mine it's not. And I don't want people to jump to assumptions that doctors are incompetent and nurses are incompetent, because it is so not true. It's just not. I had fantastic care. It couldn't have been any better. It couldn't have. I don't think anyone could have found out what was wrong with me immediately. I mean, it's something that I'm still struggling with, for sure, but I don't think it would be any different with any other medical team. In fact, it probably would have been worse with any other medical team. So I just want to thank people who took care of me while I was there. Thank you. What else was I gonna say? While I was there, I didn't eat the entire time that all of this was going on, really. So it was like over a week of not eating. So for someone my size, I'm really small. I'm 5'1" and normally weigh 86 pounds. So for me to lose the 5 pounds that I lost when I was in the hospital, like, that's a big deal. Because I only weigh 86 pounds to begin with, you know? That's any fat I had left on my body was absolutely gone by that time. And I'm sure I had a lot of muscle wasting too, which is why they were gonna have to put a PICC line in, which goes like all the way to your heart area, and they can put like food and nutrients in through there, and they were gonna have to feed me like that, but it comes with a lot of health risks, I guess, or at least the doctor was trying to scare me into thinking it was super life-threatening to do that. And I appreciate that he did that, because it did give me the extra push that I needed to try harder to eat. And so the combination of that, along with the Carafate for the gastritis that was going on and the beta blocker that was calming my heart rate, I was able to start eating again, thankfully. And so that's really when I was allowed to leave the hospital, because they couldn't do anything more at that point, and I was eating, so it was okay. So then I was discharged. Still no 100% confirmed diagnosis on what's wrong with me. A couple of the doctors threw out the possibility of this thing called POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, if I am recalling that correctly. Basically, for me, it would be autonomic. I forgot what the other option is, but autonomic just means like your nervous system, I guess. It's sort of out of whack or whatever. It just responds incorrectly. So that's why I have all these symptoms that affect everything instead of just in my heart. It's possible that I have that. The telltale sign, I suppose, is when you stand up, your heart rate jumps by like 30 digits, I think. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Which definitely would happen to me. Like, my heart rate was consistently very high, but it would go from 90s to 100s at rest to 130 upon standing. So that's definitely something that it could be. A lot of the doctors threw that out there. But the thing is, no one really knows much about POTS. It's something I'm going to try and go to a special clinic for to figure out if that's what I have. And I'm going to take a tilt table test, which I haven't done yet, because it's very hard to get all of that legal stuff worked around, because the doctor who actually knows stuff about POTS, who's going to take me on, he was actually going to take me on pro bono, which is super incredibly sweet of him. I can't even get over it, because none of the other cardiologists I saw really had much experience with POTS. They were great, but they don't know that much about POTS, and that's likely what I have, even though it hasn't been diagnosed yet. That's what we're speculating. So I wanted to go to a doctor who knows about POTS, but he wasn't covered by my insurance. So he was going to treat me pro bono, but we don't want to make him do that, as sweet as that is. So we're trying. We did get him put on our insurance. Thankfully, we were able to get our insurance to cover him after some time, but we still have to work around a lot of legal stuff to get the tilt table test in. And the tilt table test is basically where I have to be off my beta blocker for 24 hours. To me, that's terrifying, because that means my heart is going to go super high again. My heart rate is 80 right now. It's actually not that bad for me. For me, 80 is fucking great with the beta blocker even. They're going to put me on a platform, basically, and they're going to like rotate it to different positions to to see what makes my heart rate jump. And I suppose if I have a positive reaction to that, that means, or, well, negative in the sense that it's a bad reaction, positive in the sense that I do react, you know? Then I guess that means I have POTS. Probably? I don't know. I don't really understand. It means there's something fucking wrong. But we already know there's something wrong anyway. So, I have been treating it as though it is POTS. I've been doing research on this syndrome, but it really sucks because there's no cure for it. There's only treatment, and treatment options are kind of limited because it's a pretty rare condition, or at least not very closely studied. And that sucks. It really sucks that there are so many conditions, diseases, etc. out there that go without treatment because nobody really knows anything about them. It's super unfortunate, you know. I guess, you know, medicine's not magic. We can't just cure everything. It's so hard, and I just really feel for everyone who's going through something similar, you know, or who has been through something like this before. In a way, I'm grateful that this horrible thing happened because now I get to see what all these other people out there have to live with. And worse than me, I'm sure. Where am I going with this? I want to be able to help in any way I can, and I'm really hoping that someday I'll be able to start fundraisers for things like this, all kinds of medical issues that aren't studied very closely. I want to start some funding for that so that the people who are researching it can do so properly and with enough resources, especially for POTS, but definitely for other things as well, and for mental illness, which is extremely important. So hopefully when I figure out how to do stuff like that, I'll be doing charity streams and raising money in any way I can for that sort of thing. I really do want to start an online chat room for people with emotional distress and mental health issues. I'd like to start an online support chat room that's free, like a helpline, but where you can also talk to people with similar issues. And I'd like to actually moderate it myself sometimes, if possible. Get in there and help out in any way I can. And I wouldn't say that I was so selfish as to not care about this stuff beforehand, but it definitely impacts me more now that I'm a part of it, you know? And I think that's true for anyone. It sucks that my eyes had to be opened because they were closed in the first place, you know? I was always super concerned with mental health, but POTS is now something that's very much part of my life, something I really want to pay close attention to and help other people through, because even though it's not been diagnosed yet, it's pretty fucking likely I have it. And even if I don't have it, and this is just something I've read up on, like, that's fine. I mean, I don't want to have it. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I still want to help anyone with POTS. Even if I don't have it myself, of course. This is a horrible POTS is horrible. It's insane. It drastically affects your quality of life. Like, I can't go out and do things the way I used to be able to. I can't make plans anymore because I end up canceling on most of them. And I'm so sorry to the people I've had to flake on because of this. And I want to thank you so much for being so understanding of what I'm going through and patient with me and willing to wait for me to feel okay, you know, a day when I feel better. But that's the thing. And I know a lot of you have been saying, like, oh, I'm glad you're doing better, and thank you guys. That means a lot to me. But at the same time, I do want to make it clear that what I have is chronic. Whether it's POTS or not, I have a chronic heart condition, health issue. I don't know. It's chronic. That means I'm gonna have it, as far as I know, for the rest of my life. Oh, excuse me, I had a burp. I can't ever really say that I'm getting better. I can't say that because I'll always have my good days and my bad days. Always. And there are certain things that trigger me, and I don't mean the Tumblr trigger, I mean that actually trigger the symptoms. They kind of make it worse, like overeating. So I have to keep an empty stomach, not empty stomach, I have to keep a less than full stomach at almost all the time because I did overeat recently and it kind of brought everything back, and I was terrible for like 2 or 3 days just because I ate too big of a meal. I had nausea. I was not vomiting, but I totally thought I was gonna vomit. My chest hurt ridiculously. I could feel all the palpitations in my chest. I was lightheaded and short of breath, and I thought I was gonna pass out, and I had extreme weakness to the point where I couldn't stand up on my own. It's just so terrifying, you know, to go through that. And also just starting my period. Something as simple as that is a huge trigger for all my symptoms. And that's in line with POTS too. Apparently, I was reading up on that. And same thing with overeating, which is another reason why I probably have POTS, but even if not, this is something that POTS people have to deal with constantly. And it sucks. And I'm so sorry that anyone in the world has to go through this. I don't care as much about me going through it. I hate knowing that this is a thing, that people have to live with this. It's awful, and I'm so sorry. And I get headaches and migraines, and I have random parts of my body fall asleep because my circulation's not very good. And it's just pain. Not always the in-your-face kind of sharp pain, but often just you feel so not right. And I don't know any better way to describe that, honestly. It's the worst kind of pain. I can handle someone jabbing a knife into my arm or something. This sounds brutal as fuck. Let's tone that down a bit. But you know what I mean? Like, I can handle that kind of pain better than I can handle this kind of pain. This kind of pain is inside. I don't even know how to describe it, because it's not always like right in your face pain. You just feel so not okay. And there's really no better way for me to put that. You just know something's wrong with you, and it's not the knowledge of that, but you can feel it regardless. Like, it's just, there are days when I can't walk on my own, and there are days when I'm gonna puke forever, and there are days when my chest hurts so much that I can't move, and there are days when my heart is just still so fast despite taking a double dose of my beta blocker. Like, and it's not cool to have your heart beat fast. It's not just like, yeah, woo, party time. No, it's not. It fucking hurts. And you can feel that shit, and it's scary as hell, and you're short of breath, and it's the worst. And you feel like you're gonna pass out. So thank you so much to everyone who's put up with this from me. Put up with my flakiness. I know it's hard to be that patient, and I thank you. I really do for understanding and for sending me warm thoughts and warm well wishes. So thank you. Just know it's something I'm gonna deal with forever, and I hope you can continue to be patient with me, because there will likely be again in my future days where I don't feel well and I have to cancel on plans even though I was feeling great just a minute ago. It sucks, because at the drop of a hat I can go from feeling fantastic and catching Pokemon and Pokemon Go outside and like walking around for miles on the beach to holy shit, I'm gonna die. Like, even though I'm not actually gonna die, it feels like that. It legitimately does. The pain and the panic and everything that sets in. Even when I'm not expecting to feel bad, it happens. And thank you for putting up with that. And for those of you who try to take care of me, make sure I'm situated whenever we're out together, thank you so much. It means the world to me that you guys care. Another thing that happened was, because I can't overeat, it draws attention that I don't eat a lot of food. And I assume for most people it's alarming the portions that I'm able to eat, because I wasn't able to eat much in the first place. I'm a very small person. Like I said, 5'1", 86 pounds. I'm fucking skinny. Like, I just am. I'm tiny. And my stomach's not very big. I mean, it's like the size of your fist, right? And then it expands a little bit when you eat, but like, can't eat that much to begin with because I'm tiny. Combine that with the fact that my stomach likely shrunk because of the amount of time I was unable to eat in the hospital for like a week, you know? Obviously my meals are going to be smaller now than they were. And the fact that I'm not supposed to fill my stomach all the way. Which is hard as hell because I freaking love food. And it doesn't take a lot of food to fill me up, so it's so hard to not overeat. I was out with my friends today getting ramen, and I ordered a half order of ramen. Like a fucking kitty size, right? And I couldn't even finish that. Couldn't. It's actually really sad to me that I can't finish it. And I know my friends weren't trying to bully me or be mean or make me feel self-conscious or anything, but someone did say, like, wow, that's all you're gonna eat. Like, that was a half size, like, you know, and it really sucks when people react like that, because I was already self-conscious about it, and I guess a lot of people don't realize that that's something people are self-conscious about. It's just, to me, like, you wouldn't say to an overweight person, oh my god, you're gonna eat all of that. So, like, I don't think it should be okay to say that to an excessively tiny person either, like, oh, that's all you're gonna eat, because I don't think it's cute. No, maybe you guys think it's cute that's all I eat, but it's not fucking cute. It sucks. I hate that I can't eat more than that, and I'm extremely self-conscious about it, and people were already asking me before if I was anorexic, so the fact that I'm eating even less now, and I'm even thinner now, like, it sucks, and I don't want to be reminded of that anytime I go out to eat. Every time I go out to eat, and that's what had been happening even before all of this, so it's really just hitting me even harder now. Please, if you eat out with me, do not judge how much I eat. It's gonna be a tiny bit. It's not gonna be a lot, I guarantee you. If I can share food with you, that would be great, because I can't fucking eat. I just can't. I can eat a tiny bit, that's it. Do not judge me. Do not point it out to me. I know I don't eat a lot. I know that, and it sucks. I want to be able to eat like a normal person and not have to get judged for it. I'm really self-conscious about it. I'm really self-conscious about the weight that I've lost. I'm really self-conscious that my ribs stick out, that I look malnourished. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that every time I go out to eat. And I know the person who said it didn't realize that, and people say it to me all the time. You're not the only one, so I'm not mad at you or anything. I just want it to be pointed out, you know? I just want to acknowledge that. I think I've covered almost everything I wanted to say. This has gone on way too long. I'm sorry. I just needed to really clarify where I was coming from. And if you have any questions, like, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to answer you, always. And yeah, thank you for being patient with me, for real. Like I said, my goal was always to upload one video per day, every day. One video every single day. Because this is actually something I really love. I haven't even uploaded my first video yet, and before I'd even started, I knew I would love this, because I play video games. I've played video games since I can even remember. Like, I must have been like 2 or something when I started playing video games. I don't even remember when it was. Being able to share my enjoyment for these games with other people means the world to me, and being able to bond with you guys over these games and what I love to do and what you love to do, and share that and celebrate it, and celebrate the creativity and the hard work that goes into all these games, the communities, the teams that create them. I just love it so much. Just love sharing parts of my life with you like that. And I really hope that you guys enjoy my videos too, even though they're not quite the best quality, because I'm on a very strict budget. I can't work other than this. Like, I really can't. I write some freelance articles when I'm feeling okay, but I can't hold a steady job right now. I can't, because I just won't be able to come into work a lot of days, and nobody wants to hire someone like that, you know? And I can't do a full semester of school. I was supposed to graduate this semester, but I can't do a full roster of classes because I just can't handle it. My health isn't good enough for me to spend 20 hours a week at school, or longer than that, probably. I don't know what it is, what it would have been. So now I'm only taking 2 classes instead of the 5 I needed to graduate. So I'll be another semester after this. It just sucks that my life's been slowing down so much. Not necessarily slowing down, but I just feel like I'm in my 20s. In my early 20s, I should be able to go out and have fun and party and drink and make out with guys, like, and girls. I should be able to go out and have a good time and not have to worry about my heart, you know? It sucks that I'm missing out on life, and I know I shouldn't let myself feel like a victim like that, and I'm trying really hard not to. I'm trying to just be strong and get through it. Ugh. Sorry, you guys have seen me cry. It's super embarrassing. And I can't ride roller coasters, and I can't drink caffeine or alcohol or do any. I used to smoke a ton of weed. I can't do that anymore. I know a lot of people say weed would probably be good, but it actually isn't for me, because even before all this, I could feel palpitations in my chest, or my heart. I feel heart palpitations and skip beats when I was smoking weed, so definitely can't do that anymore. And I know I should not be all woe is me. You're absolutely fucking right. imagine you guys are saying that. I'm saying it to myself, and I say it to myself every day. But it is something new that I'm just now learning to deal with, and it's gonna be a struggle, but I will get there, and I can't say past it, but I will learn how to live with it. I will. And I know that. It's just hard right now, and so I hope you guys can be understanding and patient with me regarding that and the time it takes me to be even just like fully happy again, because it's gonna be a while. I have days where it sucks to have to say this, but you know, I've had days where I just feel like I might as well not be alive anymore, because what is my quality of life? You know, what am I ever gonna do with my life? Am I ever gonna even be able to date, like, or get married and have kids? Because I can't even take care of myself properly. How can I take care of children someday? And I can't go out and have fun like other people my age. I'm often a burden, you know? My family and my friends, they always have to worry about me now and stay home to take care of me. It sucks. And I'm so sorry to everyone that I've burdened. And I thank you for being so understanding and patient and taking care of me. And I know I keep saying that, but I'm just so incredibly thankful, and I will never stop being thankful for that. But even though this is hard right now, and I have those thoughts sometimes, I'm gonna power through it. I'm gonna make it through. I know there are people out there who have it much, much worse than I do. I don't mean to make it sound like this is the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody, but it is hard for me. I'm not the strongest person alive. I'm obviously not. And so for me, this is hard. This is new, and this is hard. But I will power through it, and I will get through. And I just want you guys to know that I might not be able to keep up with my one video every day plan, but I sincerely will try. I will always try. But if my health is really bad, I can't push myself to be energetic and fake it in front of a camera for an hour. You know, I can't fake that to you guys. What you get in those videos is genuine me, which is why a lot of the time it's boring and not funny, but it's me. And I'll do what I can, but I can't push myself too hard. I'll push myself to a healthy extent, to a safe and healthy extent. But if it becomes a health risk for me, I can't do a video that day. You know, recording takes me at least an hour for an episode, regardless of what it is. Even if it's like a 20-minute video, it takes me at least an hour, like, to record it. Ugh. And then editing usually takes like 6 times that. Yeah, I spend like 6 hours editing, even though my edits aren't even good. It's because I'm not used to it yet. I'm very new to editing, and I'm still learning how to do it. So I can't always sit there in front of a computer screen for 6 hours and not pass out, you know? So but I'll do it when I can, and I really, really will try to stick to that one video a day, and I sincerely hope I can stick to it. But please forgive me if I can't. And I don't even know if you guys care if I stick to it, but I care. It matters to me. So I'll try. Because since this is what I love to do, I'm not gonna let some silly health issue prevent me from doing what I want to do. Nothing is gonna stop me from this hobby, from this amazing fun thing I love to do, and this way I get to connect with people. Nothing's gonna stop me from that. Not even myself. Especially not myself. I'll learn to live with it, and I'll handle it the best that I can. Every day is a struggle, but I can be strong enough to get past that. And I don't know if you guys think I'm being super melodramatic. I hope not. I'm not meaning to. I just want you to know what I'm going through, and I just want to be able to still do this thing that I want to do. And that's really the gist of it. Like, I don't know, maybe people think I'm overreacting, but if you think that, I don't know, maybe you've never had an issue like this before. I don't know. Because it sucks. It fucking sucks. And yeah, there are people with way worse situations. I'm just scared and new to this, and I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully it's understandable that I'm emotional about this. Hopefully. Don't mean to be a drama queen, and I don't mean to worry people. I'm okay. I'm not gonna die. Like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm not perfectly fine, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm okay. And I'm going to be okay. To me, it may be a big deal, but to a lot of you, it's not. And I get that, because there are sincerely bigger situations out there than this. This is some silly little thing. that affects just me. There are definitely bigger issues and worse conditions, worse health problems than this, for sure. I don't know that. So forgive me for being a little whiny bitch about it. Okay, that's all I need to say. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry this video is long and melodramatic and probably boring, but thank you guys. I love you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Oh shit. Oh shit. That was actually really scary. Q? I'm pressing Q. E? I don't know where any of these keys are. Shit. What's supposed to happen? I'm gonna just fuck up. What am I doing? Oh my god. I'm not quick enough on these quick lines. I need a controller. I'm not used to these things. Get her the hell out of here. No, Clementine, go back to your treehouse.